What's up, guys? It's Brett. If you've been trying to cut your calories, increase your cardio, and nothing is seeming to stick with weight loss and fat loss, and it is just stalling and not happening for you, then I think you're going to get a lot out of this video. We're going to talk about why muscles are your fat burners. Here's what most guys get wrong, and I've worked with thousands of clients over the last 15 years, and I see this time and time again, and that is they are under eating and doing lots of cardio, and they're avoiding any type of resistance training. What they're under eating is specifically protein. So we're going to break down each of these components on why this may be the biggest issue with your fat loss and weight loss plateau, stall, or just overall nothing seeming like it sticks. First off, I want to give you 3 reasons why it's important to add muscle. There's this great quote that I like, ABL, always be learning. I like to say always be lifting or always be building muscle. And what I'm talking about here is not that you have to be a bodybuilder, not that you have to make the gym your whole identity, not that you have to be in there 5 days a week, taking all these supplements and embracing that lifter mentality. I'm just saying that lifting, making that a part of your health program, some type of resistance training has incredible payoffs for you. And if you hear me out all the way to the end, I think it's going to give you a perspective that's going to change how you think about weight loss and fat loss forever. The first reason that you want to add lean muscle and lift is better blood sugar regulation. You hear everyone talking about A1C and driving that as low as you can naturally, better insulin and glucose numbers. All of these health markers improve when you lift weights regularly and you have more lean muscle. So what muscles do is it's very active tissue, and A1C, insulin, glucose are all affected by our carbohydrate intake. And what muscle tissue does, especially when you train regularly, is those muscles are designed to suck up excess carbs from your bloodstream and store them inside the muscle. When you store those carbs in the muscle, they are there to help you with recovery and performance for your next exercise session, and that means they are not floating around in the bloodstream. When those carbs are floating around in the bloodstream, they cause all sorts of problems for you. They cause brain fog, they cause energy dips and moodiness, they cause issues with cognitive function, they cause long-term health effects down the road. There is a link to Alzheimer's and having high blood sugar over time, calling it type 3 diabetes. And if those carbs are floating around in the bloodstream too long, you have poor markers for A1C, and that is what's going to make you pre-diabetic or eventually diabetic. So when you have more lean muscle and you lift regularly, that better blood sugar is going to protect your brain. It's going to protect your insulin levels to where you don't become pre-diabetic or you move away from being pre-diabetic if you're there now. And it's going to stabilize your mood and your energy all day long. The second compelling reason to lift regularly and add muscle is that you're going to have a higher resting metabolism the more muscle you have. So it's been stated throughout the day, fat is very inactive tissue. Maybe it burns 1 to 2 calories at rest over the course of the day, whereas every equal amount of muscle tissue is going to burn 12 to 13 calories at rest throughout the day. All you need to know is that muscle is highly active tissue. The guy with more lean muscle, just walking down the street, moving that tissue, is going to burn more calories than the person next to him, the guy next to him, who has the same body weight but less muscle tissue. Since muscle is highly metabolically active tissue, just sitting on the couch, watching sports, you're going to have a higher resting metabolism than if you were just sitting there without that much muscle tissue. So the more muscle you have, stronger metabolic rate. And then you have the effects of lifting regularly in the week. When you do cardio, you're essentially burning calories during that cardio session, especially if it's steady state, not a lot of resistance there. But when you train with weights on Monday, that weight training has muscle repair and recovery involved. You're breaking down the tissue has to repair and recover, and this burns calories. It elevates your metabolic rate. This process takes 24 to 48 hours or sometimes longer. So when you train on Monday, you get this compound effect of more calories being burned for the next couple days. We've all know the power of compounding in business and money and finances. We can use that same mindset with our fat burning and metabolic rate. The other thing lifting regularly and adding more muscle will do is increase your mitochondria, mitochondrial density. You'll have more mitochondria and improve their function. And these are those cells in the body that you hear so much about these days. It's what everyone is doing with cold plunges and sauna. They're protecting their mitochondria, driving up the health of those cells and trying to increase the number of those cells. Lifting does this. With healthy mitochondria, we have a more efficient metabolism. We burn fat better. We have more energy production throughout the day. We age more healthily, and overall, we keep our entire cell system healthier. So with that weight training and regular increasing of lean muscle, you're building strong mitochondria and a healthy internal body. And the third reason to add resistance training to your week and to regularly add it in is because it's going to increase your bone density. A lot of people are doing DEXA scans these days, and you see the bone mineral index, how thick your bones are. You can see this increase over time if you're eating well, a nutrient-dense diet, and pairing it with weight training. Because when you put your bone system, your skeletal system under load or under resistance in the gym or at home, you are going to send these signals that say, take all this great food that we're eating, those minerals, different compounds in the food we eat, and shove it into the bone, make that bone thicker, stronger, and increase that bone density. The reality is that as we age, most people, bones become more brittle, they fall, they break their hip, and that causes tons of health complications. So by increasing the bone density now, you're going to go into aging with better bone health, and that is going to protect your health span. We're talking about health span here. That's the life in the years that you get to enjoy with those that you love, those that matter to you most, doing the things you love. Not just lifespan where we increase lifespan, but the quality of life is not there. So bone density is crucial. But the last part of this is just kind of a general health reason. Lifting weights increases the size of your brain. The brain is proven to increase in size with weightlifting. And what this means is that there is less atrophy in the brain as you age, and this is going to keep you cognitively sharp throughout the years. So with adding weights and lifting regularly, you're going to lose more fat and weight loss becomes easier, and it's easier to stay at your ideal goal weight when you get there. And that's because you've built a higher resting metabolic rate, a more efficient metabolism, as I like to call it. You've improved your blood sugar levels. And so that means you're going to be healthier, not only now, but down the road as well. And you're going to get there to your goal weight with better energy, a better mood, and overall better biomarkers. Now I'm going to give you two solutions for what we talked about. Number one is too much cardio and avoiding resistance training. The solution here is it's not that cardio is bad, especially if you enjoy doing it. Just take the volume down a little bit and replace that with some weights. Even if you start with 2 weight sessions at 20 minutes each a week, you can build up from there, but that is better than not doing any weights at all. You can go to a gym, you can do machines there to start out if you're a beginner. The machines are perfectly fine. You can buy some adjustable dumbbells, maybe even an adjustable bench, and you can do everything you need to at home. You can also start with body weight resistance exercises like push-ups, air squats, lunges. Start there and then build up to adding in those weights. You have to start with where you're at and you can build up from there. The second solution, if you're chronically under-eating, is to start to get your protein right first. Start there. If you didn't do anything else, this is going to help you get out of that fat loss stall and get the weight loss going again, especially if you pair that protein correct eating with weight training. It's going to change your physique faster than you can think. Now, there's a lot of ways out there to think about your protein intake. And let's forget macro apps for a second and counting to an exact number. What I want to give you is a base foundation that works great for most guys. Again, this is not the advanced level of protein, but this is a way to cover your bases and give your body what it needs to get the progress going. For most guys, that's about 3 meals a day with 6 ounces of lean protein in each meal. Yes, that's 18 ounces of protein a day, split fairly evenly across 3 meals. For most guys, who add in some weight training, it's a great place to be, and you're going to see that progress start to accelerate. If you want a more specific number, I do like 1 gram per pound of protein per pound of ideal body weight. So if you want to be a lean, athletic, 170 pounds, eat 170 grams of protein a day. Another safe number is to take your current body weight and times it by 0.8. Whatever that comes out as, eat that for your daily protein number if you are using a macro app or counting, and you're set. Don't overcomplicate it. Just get to action. But here's what life looks like if you start to add in weight training, not doing so much cardio, and you start to get your protein right and stop under eating. You're going to notice things change very quickly for you. The first thing you're going to notice is that scale starts to drop. So the fat loss plateau is gone. You're building this stronger, more efficient metabolic rate. Your body is tapping into stored calories, and it's also doing that in order to help repair and recover from your workouts with weights. Simultaneously, there's something about weight training. You get that endorphin rush, you get the blood pumping, you feel a little pumped up in the gym. It gives this confidence feeling, and you're likely learning a new skill. If it's something you haven't done before, you get all these brain functions firing of learning something new, and this can help keep you sharp mentally and make you feel really good. We feel like we're making progress in something new, and progress equals happiness. But the biggest thing is as you start to accumulate some lean muscle over time, again, you don't have to worry about getting too big or packing on a lot of muscle. The guys who do that, they're bodybuilding, they're strategically eating lots of extra calories to do that. Building muscle is a challenging thing to do. It takes a lot of time, and it's just not very dense tissue. It takes up, if you look at like what 5 pounds of fat weighs, it's a massive piece of space and volume. Whereas you look at 5 pounds of muscle and it's a very small area of volume. So just focus on adding that lean muscle over time. What you're going to notice is that you have more diet flexibility. You've built this strong metabolic rate. You've improved your blood sugar control because you've been eating healthy most of the time. So when you do go on that vacation, let's say it's Italy, and you eat a lot of carbs and pasta and heavy calorie dishes, your muscles and your insulin system is primed and ready to suck that up into muscle tissue, use it correctly, and burn those calories. You're more metabolically flexible. You can handle those higher carb intake days, 1 or 2 of them when they come, and you can go on that trip and come back and be like, wow, I didn't really gain much. I actually feel pretty good. Especially if you kept your lifting up while you were traveling, you're going to notice that it wasn't even a speed bump for you, and you can keep firing along towards your weight loss, ultimate body composition goals, and it wasn't a speed bump because you've built a strong metabolic rate. And the last thing I want to encourage you with is that when you do get to your ideal weight, you're going to look really good when you're there. You've built some muscle. And so what happens is your shoulders get a little broader. Your waist looks a little smaller. You have that V taper that you've built in the gym. You fit your sport coats a little bit better by filling out those shoulders. And overall, you have this ideal weight on the scale, which you're really excited about, but you look lean, athletic, and fit with your shirt off and with clothes on while you're there. And that's really what this is all about. Achieving those health goals internally, but also having that confidence that you accomplished your goals and built what you wanted to on the outside. You know, we buy insurance policies to protect us if something goes wrong down the road. Muscles are your insurance policy. It's your insurance policy against too many carbohydrates a couple days here and there, times in your life, and having that mess up you down the road for your health. It's your insurance policy against falling down and stopping yourself because you have the tricep strength to stop yourself on the floor without snapping a bone. And it's your insurance policy that you've built a strong metabolic rate the right way over the long term with consistency so that the next time you get a little lackadaisical with your diet and eating, you cruise right through it, you don't gain weight, and it's just a little hiccup. It's much easier to stay at the weight you want to be at compared to someone who has less muscle and has undereaten their way to get there. Let me know which of these resonated with you, these reasons to build muscle, and I'll see you in the next video.